You are most welcome to the Gmodism channel. This is your host Eric, and we are back here in From the Depths with the Ultra Yamato refit. As you probably do know, we have been refitting martincitopants Ultra Yamato for some time now. It has dragged out and took a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but well, stuff happens, but now we are basically done. You can see I have added a lot of nice details. The colors are changed, and if you look at pictures of the real Yamato, this version looks a lot more like it than the previous variant, which is the original Ultra Yamato. I've decided to call it the Ultra Yamato GI, that's Gmodism Industries, Mark II, so it's a GI mod, because of course we added a lot of things to it. We can't just claim a simple Mark II of it, since, you know, that's not how it works. We added a lot of cool details and stuff on here and there. We should be checking that out later on in the last video where I'll upload it. Right now, however, we should be doing a little bit of battle testing. We will be testing it out, see if it works, and yeah, if it is any better than the previous Yamato, or if it's not. Now, we did add and tweak some things here, and we should possibly check out the AI too and set that up a little bit as well. Basically, this time we are able to check if it works well, if we need to add some things, or if we are just, well, happy with the current setup. And yes, this actually says Yamato, if you were wondering. So, let us spawn in a few enemies and test it out. This will be a little bit like of a less rigid scenario. We'll just use the in-game area, the designer mode, to spawn in the enemies. So I'm thinking we should first out just get in a Gimli class here and see how it does now with the upgrades, a little bit like that. Thinking of that, the Gimli class seriously needs an upgrade, so that's something I'll need to do later on as well. I've already sketched out how the upgrades should be done, so it will not be, you know, too long away. That will be a new series that you can tune in for if you are so inclined. The lag may be a bit much here, but, well, oh man, it spawned a bit underwater. Alright, will be very interesting to see the Gimli class versus the upgraded Ultra Yamato. I would be quite curious to follow one of our cram shells, because of course we did add a quite competent anti-cram system to the Ultra Yamato as well. And they're like not firing. And I think we are pretty much in extreme degraded mode right now. It does feel a tiny bit laggy. We got a couple of crams going. I think we should follow this shell just to see what happens. And we got And here we got a lot of lambs trying to target it. And bam, it got through anyways. We'll need to check the stats later on the anti-civs or anti-cram civs. We've got a very bright and nice shield color here. It's almost like we may need to add some more engine power to the Yamato, because it seems that we're not able to really keep up with this load here. Not at all. Possibly we could also add a smart system so that the shields on each of the sides are not always active, but that they kind of have a smart switch. Right now, the Ultra Yamato is in the lead, however, which is good because the Gmodism is a lot cheaper. Look at that! Our little torpedo has is trying to... Oh, yeah, it is a sonar seeker, so it went for the decoy, unfortunately. But it is a cluster missile, so it already had the opportunity to deal some good damage. Oh. I think we may have spawned a little bit too close. The upgraded Yamato is a lot more maneuverable, but, well... it still lacks some maneuverability. Oh my. We are colliding, are we not? Because we're lagging a bit much, I feel. I think the Gmodism will not think it's a good day if we do collide due to the, well, weight difference. The thing that is heavier gets a lot less damage dealt to it. So it's very bad to collide with something very heavy. And the, well, it's a bit damaged of course, but you can see the weight is 11 million and the Gmodism weight is 5 million. So there is a big weight difference here. What is the game speed? It's like super slow motion. It's a 5%. The game speed is 5% right now, ladies and gentlemen. The Gmodism is dropping down here to under 78%, but the Ultra Yamato is at 95, which is, well, of course it is. Well, not of course it is. The original Ultra Yamato, despite being twice as expensive as the Gmodism, did lose against the Gmodism. So we shouldn't say of course, but since I've upgraded it, it should be somewhere a similar-ish, you know, skill level area between them. So if I upgrade the ship so that it is, well, I didn't refit like all the systems completely because I would have made a lot of different design strategies for how to make turrets and stuff like that. But that's just some personal preference. Since we do want to keep the integrity of the Yamato, I did fix them as best I could. So, in effect, it is then not as good per material as if I would have built the ship from the ground up. But if it's twice as expensive as the Gmodism, I mean, it should really win against it. Look at that. Now we detangled, so we have a lot less lag now. Good thing. And the cram cannons are starting to shoot again. We've got the tribal music going in the background. Look at that. I'll just need to see here. Our upgraded weapons are no joke. Yeah. They are eating big holes. And those mortars, you voted for what weapon system you wanted and you chose these mortars. I hope you're happy with them. The mortars of Hellfire. They will create some scary fires inside of the Gimlo class here. Due to the lag, it's hard to see the damage progress. We should actually run this test battle in a environment with least performance settings, like with just a really ugly looking game. By the way, if you want to like suggest some additions or changes to the Ultra Yamato before we publish it, now is really the time to do so. Now is really the time to do so, because after the last couple of fixes, we'll go through and check the system, see if everything is up to date. We will be publishing the Ultra Yamato Mark II Gmodism Industries mod to the workshop for public enjoyment, as we said in the beginning here of this little series. And sorry about the delay, that it took a long time to get to this point. You know, a lot of different projects and a lot of different things in my life outside of YouTube to get everything out, all the content out there. I always want to get out a lot more content than I'm able to do, but for those of you who are supporting the channel monthly and helping it out thus, huge thanks to you. Everyone in the ecclesiarchy, you can see the progression badges in the comments field for those that have commented, and all of you that are in the ecclesiarchy have early access to videos. Then I also want to say huge thanks to our commissioned officers in the army of Gmodism: Admiral Dragon X62, Commander Ben Wilkie and Commander Delphin, our lieutenants Ali, Anto, Cravey, Flowers Dagon, Daniel Saikin, Owen, Power by Greed, Vincent Veritas, Rick Proel, and Scooby Rocks. Your monthly support helps me a lot. And if you want to support the channel, you have the options there, and soon enough I'll get to fixing the government of Gmodism. If you want to join a new little support option, it will be available. It is technically available, but I want to polish it up before you look at it too much. And yeah. Also thinking of providing the files, the from the depth files and other game file assets, so that you can access it from being a member of the government of Gmodism too. And the good thing with the government option is that it has basically like no things going to bank transfer, which is a nice thing. By the way, I'm starting to think that the shields, I wanted to make them like piss yellow of in proper martincitopants like preference, I guess. But I'm thinking we should make them a little bit more transparent, because I think they're blocking too much of the beautiful Yamato. But tell me what you think about that in the comments, and any other suggestions on upgrading it. The Gimlo class is down to 57%, and the Ultra Yamato is still at 94. So obviously we should have no trouble dealing with the Gimlo class, as promised in earlier. And if I recall correctly, I think I said that the upgraded Yamato should be able to beat 2 of the original Yamatos. So 2 original Yamato will be defeated by the upgraded Yamato, and that will be the mark of measurement, since our upgraded Yamato, you can see here in our folder, We go to Ultra Yamato. This version costs 6.2 million, and the original Yamato cost 5.1 million. So we basically increased the cost of 1,100,000, which is a considerable amount. So I felt that when I made it more expensive, of course it's going to defeat its older self. So to really prove to everyone that it is a lot better, I thought that if it can defeat 2 of its previous self, you can forgive that extra added million, and you're absolutely sure that it's a lot better. So that's something we'll need to test. I think that's what we're gonna test next, but we need to set up a battle scenario to do that. First out, while the Gmodism-class is being despawned, I think we should go ahead and take a little damage assessment of the Ultra Yamato and see how it does. Gmodism-class is down to 33%. I mean, it's gonna die. So we can destroy the enemy vehicles and basically check out what happened to the poor Yamato. Let's get back our HUD and do a little damage assessment. Yeah. So there we have it. We do have engine power and stuff. Looks like the cram cannons are a-okay, to be honest. Like, we don't have any major damage. The AIs are 3 different AI cores. All of them seem to be up to tune. They are all alive. Are we missing any? Here we can see this thing has gotten a bit stuck here. So that's good to know. That we probably need to set up movement restrictions for these guys. Let's see here. Very dramatic music to check this out, but well. It's gonna be azimuth. So if you can move like there and to like... I'm thinking like this. It's like it's not cooperating, is it? I'll probably need to check out what blocks it. It's like... Well, obviously this seemed to have worked. I think I can probably switch to another view, and it will be quite apparent where the issue lies. It could... yeah, I think it's actually as simple as being the other turret. Yeah, it's just the other turret blocking it. So that should really be it. So we can set it up for this one as well. And there we have it. And a little extra constraint. And an azimuth limitation like this. Flip it, and there we got that one. And I'm a bit curious too. No shell loaded. Shots hit fired. Okay. 1 of 5. Okay, it got damaged. But it actually hit the shot it fired. As for these ones, we have a 66% hit rate. We have a 50% hit rate. These are Civs cannons. So that's pretty a-okay. These are not going to have as well hit rate. 25 to 75% depends a lot. This one has a 75 hit rate. This one has 67. It depends a lot where they're located too. We made the lambs a lot closer, more close engaging. So then we go, yeah, 50%. I think a lot of them didn't hit because the Gimlet's anti-cram system is pretty powerful. And if we would switch to a weapon system that would have a lot better reach or like throughput to the Gimlet, it would be really at the cost of damage. So we got a 90% hit rate of those guns, which is nice. 84, 83 on these tiny little auxiliary guns. 96%, beautiful. And these railgun things, 93, 92. Yeah, 100% hit rate for them. These are 100% as well. And these auxiliary small cannons, 90%. I'm actually surprised they are dealing damage that well. If you remember, this is this is just a frag secondary shaped charge little auxiliary extra cannon. They are not too scary, but they can be really scary against some types of weapons or some types of structures, because if the enemy is armored incorrectly or in a less than optimal way, they will deal a lot of damage. Well, here we can see another case where our Civs cannons has unfortunately collided a little bit there, so we're gonna set up some constraints on the azimuth here. Just like that. I'll probably do like this. And flip it. And make it detangle itself. And since we know we're gonna have the same issue on this side, we might as well set this up too. And this is how you basically do a battle test and damage assessment if you're a bit new to the game. Here is how you can see how well your cram cannons hit, and like for example, if your syncing doesn't work very well, you will see that some of your cram cannons will basically have fired 0 shots, and that's absolutely terrible. Now we don't seem to have that issue here, which is I'm very happy to see that. On this side we have a worse hit rate because a lot of these guns never fired. Here, see, a lot of them actually got the opportunity to fire, which is cool. And if we check up here, looks like the lasers have a little bit of a entanglement problem here in the front. Seem to have gotten stuck a bit. Perhaps we'll need to set the minimum or maximum elevation, I don't know. Interesting. It seemed to have gotten stuck a little bit here. Shouldn't have the elevation higher than this. Let's see here. Maximum elevation, minimum elevation. Something like that. Yeah. We can add some of these here instead and remove them from the back, because obviously it doesn't quite compute. And for some reason, it looks like I forgot to smoothen out some blocks here and there. Right, good. When we check inside here, we can see that a lot of internal damage, of course, has taken place, which is to be expected when we meet an enemy with doom crams like the Gimlet. But due to the spread out systems, the laser still is working, and we don't have any crits to any of the systems really. It seems that none of the turrets went down completely, and the redundancy in most of the systems basically made it survive pretty well. So just looking at it a little bit quickly, I'm quite happy with it. Well, I repaired it, added some more fake windows to make it look nicer, and we should now be testing it against the Ultra Yamato, but I did realize that it kind of lags a little bit too much, so we're gonna get into a proper battle arena and test it with some more proper rules. We did check it out here, and I think the already set up well, values should be a-okay. Well, also, whatever you do when you get this, like, don't press this button. Oh, just saying. Yeah, so we're gonna pitch the Ultra Yamato original versus my Mark II. Now we're just gonna load this for, I don't know, 10 minutes. As is common and fine in this perfectly balanced game. It really doesn't like this scale of battles. I'm just forcing it to do it anyways, time after time after time. By the way, I've gotten up the 24/7 battles, builds, tutorials, tournaments, trials stream on the Gmodism channel. So when you watch this video, from the end screen, go to the Gmodism channel and start watching this little thing. If you want to have some 24/7 entertainment, you should definitely check this out. We have a lot of old tournaments and, well, pretty new gameplay battles and tutorials, trials, and all sorts of stuff that gives you some 24/7 entertainment. So check out the Gmodism channel after this, and now we'll go back to wait to load. The game says no responding. Look at that. It's like Dark Yamato versus Light Yamato. Well, let's just start this little battle. It is gonna lag. Look at that. Look at that. The volley is popping in there, and it is reaching the original Ultra Yamato. The original Yamato has managed to deal some damage, however, too. So that is interesting to see. Wow. We can really see the speed difference here. The upgraded Yamato is so much more agile, going up there in a neat little angle. And ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful eggplant torpedo is doing its magic. Look at that. Is it not glorious? I think we're gonna save it for the next video. We're gonna pitch two Ultra Yamatos versus the original Yamato and really see once and for all if it does fill up the promises we have. In this, we are going to see if anything more can be improved, and of course take your suggestions from the comments to upgrade or fix anything additional on the Ultra Yamato, and then we're gonna upload it when we do the next video where we are going to test it against two of the original Yamatos. Just pausing a little bit here, we can see there is already quite a big difference in damage dealt. Some parts thanks to targeting, but of course a lot thanks to added firepower of the Mark II here. Let the battle continue. You can also see that there you have the sieves and lambs of the Mark II is much more efficient at taking out the incoming shells too. Look at that. The lambs of the upgraded is actually prioritizing smaller shells that come in. And the Seawiz and, well, the flak diff Seawiz and the just heavy head fin Seawiz system is of course taking out or focusing on the cram shells. So you can see here when it comes in, you'll see Seawiz, then lambs, bam, and it got destroyed. And when we get a cluster like that, there is a much larger likelihood that one of these, bam, come in, which is the flak Seawiz, diff sieves. Ooh, you can see that the mortars of Hellfire is really, really making a torch out of the original here. We have some fires here and there. I wonder, however, what's up with the laser system? Which, that's a bit weird. What's up with the laser system? Do they not think they are in range or something? No? They're fine, I guess. I'm not sure actually why it stopped targeting there for a time. Maybe the lambs were so busy, but I don't think that should matter too much, to be honest. Now you can see when a volley come in of from the upgraded Yamato. Will we be able to deal with them? The answer is no. The upgraded crams, they have a much lower damage potential. The Mark II's crams damage potential is a lot lower, but the effective damage potential is a lot higher. And what that means is that the damage in the shells themselves is lower, but they have hardeners too, so they are much more likely to actually reach the target. The Ultra Yamato, those crams would deal a lot damage against something that doesn't have the ability to shoot down incoming shells. But the shells' health themselves, it's so ridiculously low, it's very easy to combat and take out them. You can see there, we barely had to explode all of those diff sieves in order to utilize the contained damage in that telephone pole to delete those incoming cram shells. We got a single one coming in here. You can see that the regular kinetic sieves were able to deal with it before it came too close, which happened again there as well. Well. And our big green, it's like martincitopants frog green. Sabot. Our Sabot beauties here. It's a bit mixed bag. We have different shells at other places, of course, but bam, them railguns coming pretty close and deal a lot of neat damage. The original Yamato is at 77%, 76, whereas the upgraded Mark II, she is at 97. So for all of you who thought that the upgrades did very little added or improved damage, well, here you can see some more clear results when we test everything against everything like that, because before we did test parts of it to see, is the armor itself better, is the guns itself better, and a lot of the similarities that time was due to the targeting system and things like that not being set up correctly yet, which of course changes things a lot. Even though I upgraded armor and the weapons and all of that, a lot of the improvements I have done is settings, how it targets, how it chooses to shoot and in what way specifically. Stuff like that makes ships a lot more effective than they otherwise would have been. So that's something that can be good to keep in mind or to remember when you're building ships. It's not only the weapons and the armor, it's also a lot about the settings. And of course targeting. We have very redundant targeting, which is an issue on the good old Yamato here, that its targeting can be a little bit damaged, since it looks like it has better targeting than it has due to some of them not being connected up. The original Yamato is at 64%. As you can see the direction of where this battle is going pretty clearly. Look at that indeed. We'll need to run a few more extra battles to really assess the Ultra Yamato upgrade and see if there are any more areas where we can improve it. Look at that, here comes another big missile, or big torpedo I mean. Man, these barrages are quite scary. Well, as expected, basically the battle ends any second now, since we are gonna drop under 55. Oh, that swarm comes in there, bam, there we go, under 55%, and thus the original is defeated, whereas the upgraded Yamato is still at 97%. These colors look much better in not the worst settings this game has to offer, but well. Wow. Lag indeed. Look at that. Well, looking good. Quick little assessment on the damage it has taken. It's only 3%. Looks like a lot of damage has been struck beneath the hull here. The Ultra Yamato does switch sides when one of the sides is a little bit damaged. Looks like it's holding up pretty decently. I think so indeed. Very nice. Well, what enemy should we try now? You know what? We're gonna pitch it against two YouTuber ships. The Honored Baguette, of course. We're gonna have some sideways spawn distance, because we're gonna add another thing here. We're gonna have it against the Honored Baguette and the Ragnarok upgrade. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good idea. I don't know how this is gonna fare. I never tried it against these two ships, but we're a bit closer in material cost now. I don't expect the Yamato to win, because two smaller ships can sometimes have a significant advantage. I do think we should spawn them a little bit further away, however, because, well, it's gonna be a bit a bit close otherwise. Yeah, well, let's start loading this. Alright, so here we are. This is gonna be quite a grand battle. Let's start it. I don't expect to get good FPS on this one. The Ragnarok is the most famous ship probably in From the Depth, built by Robas, a YouTuber who hasn't played the game for a long time, and this one is an upgraded version from Brenzo. The Honored Baguette is the creation of that hitman who has posted a lot of videos quite recently, or like in last year, which means recently for me, about testing weird and cool concepts in From the Depth. Like empirical testing, but a lot more coding. A lot more coding. Look at that. So the little recon drone that just died. I think it's because whoa. It's gonna be interesting. I wonder if these will reach the target. Like, or if APS... Like, did we meet the APS cap? Or no, they do reach there. They reach alright. The Honored Baguette is being targeted by the crams. Oof. Very bad day. Didn't even show the explosion properly there, but if we stay here a little while, I suspect that I think the damage dealt may have been delayed in showing. Because things, yeah, there it goes, there it goes. So when it lags a little bit, the damage takes some time for it to actually be realized, if that makes any sense. It really doesn't, but you know. The more ships you have, the more lag it tends to cause as well. So we are going to test it out in an empirical testing video in the future, where I'll show you what actually causes lag and what really doesn't cause lag, just for a good comparison. And there we go. By the way, if you are in the army of Gmodism that is enlisted, or a commissioned officer of course too, you can access the build platform, the Mark III, to do some beta testing. If you want that, it's available for download, and you'll of course just enlist in the army of Gmodism via self-assignation role in the Discord, unless you do want to become a commissioned officer. Well, then I'm sure you know how to join it. Otherwise, check the description of this video. That means supporting the channel though. Get another volley incoming here. Bam! A lot of them just missed. The Baguette is really low profile. It basically doesn't have any superstructure. So that hitman thought that not having a superstructure is a really good idea to not get hit, and being really long like this will make it faster than it could have been if it's wider. It also means it's a little bit less maneuverable, but definitely it is a good idea to have a low superstructure if you don't want to get hit. Issue is you don't have any place to put decoys then, and every time you do get hit, you'll get hit by some really scary stuff. I wonder if this is actually going a little bit too low. It has issues aiming properly. This lazy old torpedo. All right. The Honored Baguette is the main focus being target right now. Why is the reason we are taking a look at that mostly? Looks like we are, of course, shooting at the Ragnarok, but it is less focused on. Oh, checkerboard armor. I'm so sorry about that. I was recommending that quite some bit, but it refuses to die. It's better to have sandwiches so that you have lines, not using the checkerboard due to a mechanic with explosive that was not taken into consideration. So if you want to have wood metal layers of armor is really good, but make them sandwiches and not checkerboard. Got some swarms coming in here and hitting the Honored Baguette. No, I mean the Ragnarok as well. The Honored Baguette is of course already being targeted there. It's at 70%. Looks like the Ultra Yamato will Deal with the honor baguette. I'm sorry for messing up the camera here. It seems to have a bad day, to be honest. At this rate, I think it's gonna sink. It's like sandblasting. The honored baguette has a very unusual strategy. It uses, I think, tiny hollow points. It's not the best thing to use as hollow points. The reason why it has hollow points is that it is guaranteed to basically hit and not be deflected. Issue is, however, that the damage is very small. But you can see some of these hollow points do hit the barrels here, and if it clips the barrels, of course it's gonna deal with it. But the honor baguette is down to 67%. I think that's why the main guns have switched focus. So the secondary guns do prioritize the baguette, finishing it off, but the main guns have focused to the biggest threat, which now, by material, is the Ragnarok. Bam, railguns coming in here. Laser is causing fire in the turrets, and we have a much higher success rate at hitting the center of the Ragnarok using the swarms of cram shells, because we do have a superstructure here. We do have a fatter, more traditional ship design. Look at that. The Ragnarok is actually looking pretty sad. Yep. We're slowly melting away there. New swarm. And 72%. Just took 2% straight off. And now our mortars with the hellfire is even raining down here. And the laser is coming in here too, and probably speeding up the scariness of these flames a little bit, since it could potentially increase the intensity. Ooh, and the Ragnarok is a bit laggy because it does have video screens, and video screens unfortunately cause a lot of lag. At least if they are online. Well, 66, 65. Both of the opponents here are quite damaged. The honored baguette, where is it even? Oh man, it's so far away. It like has small fire on it, and it's just... yeah, it's really far away. Whoa. Looks like it's gonna sink, is it not? It's like slowly burning. Are we even trying to target it? It's so far away. A 62% is both of them. They're pretty close to 55, and the Ultra Battleship Yamato, she's at 97.7%. So I don't think we need to be very scared. And the damage taken is a... I thought it was based on materials, like how many materials we lost, but no, it is actually based on block count. So what this damage means is that our Yamato has lost 3% almost of its blocks, and that's of course mostly exterior armor blocks. We have a lot of wood on the outside here to make it well, because wood is the best armor per health points, basically. Oh, bam! I didn't notice that. We're absolutely frying the Ragnarok. It's looking like it's having a pretty bad day. Definitely. And there even... we got some big scary stuff. I'll need to check the settings on the torpedo. I think we may need to make it float a little bit more close to the surface, because as of now it just misses too many shots. Well, good job, the Ultra Battleship Yamato and the Ragnarok and the Honored Baguette. Well fought. They did fight at a material disadvantage, so that should be said. They probably... We could probably almost have fitted a third ship in there, but I don't think they would have won anyways, though. Well, and I can say that because the Gmodism-class did won very easily over the Ragnarok, and I think it can win over 2 Ragnarok. The Gimlo also won over 3 Baguettes, I think it was. Higher than that, I didn't want to test lag-wise, but I think if we spawned in 3 Gimlas, I do think the Gimlas would win, but I think it would lag a little bit too much, honestly. Wow, that took a long time to spawn in. So I just wanted to spawn in a ship that will fight at a material disadvantage. Believe it or not. 2.2 million. The Jormungandr Super Dreadnought. It's a third of the cost, while being... What is this? A good time the size. Like, how large is this? It's over a kilometer. Is it not? Can you like look at this thing? Yes. 1.3 kilometers long, to be specific. And well, in from the depth, size matters. It's really good to be large and bulky. It will definitely have a good opportunity to deal a lot of damage. When you're really bulky, you can, well, basically not be hit at a vital spot. Look at that. That is the first death swarm. We will definitely be keeping that in check. We may also get to a position where shells will actually despawn a bit. Oh man, the damage. Okay, we're just gonna pause it here. That's so laggy. So one of the shells coming in here are, in fact, hollow point. If you remember my old video where we did fix the, or old and old, but where we fixed the Ultra Yamato's crams, that is where that happened. And oh my, look at that, look at that. Holy crap, this is gonna deal a lot of damage. And yeah, as said, the Yamato's first volley, the first couple of shells coming in from the crams are whole point to clear the way for the rest. The Jormungandr only uses diff guns, diff APS, which deal a lot of damage. Oh my god, it deals... What? Like... How? Very interesting. Weird things are happening when when the fragments spawn like this. Look at that. Look at that indeed. Oh my. Crazy damage is happening here. Bam. So the Jormungandr effectively only has 5 volleys of damage to shoot. But you can see that the damage it dealt during this first volley is extreme. Already 6% for the first volley, which is a lot more damage than the other opponents we pitched it against have done so far. We'll see if it's gonna be enough, because the Jormungandr Super Dreadnought is at 95%. And yeah. The Ultra Yamato can deal damage all day long, basically. Look at that. And the thing is, these penetration depth crams, they're like going for a long time and they are not really getting detonated because to deal with an enemy like this built out of the thinnest, cheapest wood sheets that the game basically gives you an opportunity to even have, well, it's of course going to... Man, sorry, I got distracted. The hell rain missed. Well, where was I? It's so thin and so cheap, all of these blocks, so wherever the Yamato tries to hit, it's basically not going to deal significant damage, basically. That is... that's that. We're basically waiting for the next volley. But we are dealing damage all the time instead. What? Did we exit degraded mood? How? And here we can see the torpedo. The lag, man. This have to hit, right? It can't miss. No, of course it can't. And these fragments, they're melting through like butter, of course. Now, however, we're closing in on getting a Jormungandr broadside. Of course, our laser is starting fires all over the place, but... Oh, man. Looks like the Jormungandr is able to deal some damage here. Are we gonna have a collision? Kinda looks like we're gonna have a collision. That's a lag fest I'm not wanna be here for. Yeah, Kovrax really builds some really cool lag fests. The Jormungandr Super Dreadnought is it's an amazing design. What's less amazing is the frame rate. We have effectively entered unplayable territory. The FPS is like 2. Oh my. Oh my. And that is because it has started to fire. Look at that. I think the may finish the Ultra Yamato off here. Oh my lord, look at that. Ugh. Look at this craziness. Look at that. Bam, bam, bam. So much lag. Yeah, very cool and all, but this is too much of a slideshow, man. It does look like they intend to collide as well here, as you can see on the screen, but well, again, big thanks to everyone who's supporting the channel, and give your suggestions in the comment field on how we can do our last improvements before publishing this for all of you to enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far, and in the meantime, for some more fun action, please go to the Gmodism channel, check out that, and give a little like to the stream to help me out, and of course like this video too, that helps me out a lot too. Thanks a lot for watching. This is your host Eric of Gmodism, closing down this lag fest for today. So, signing out.